everyone. Today I am going to discuss economic tools or basic principles of managerial economics. Economic tools or basic principles, these are the same word which will cover the topic. So, today's I am going to explain the concept. I mean to say economic tools or basic principles of managerial economics. Basic principles of managerial economics. That's mean economic theory offer a variety of concepts and analytical tools which can be of considerable assistance to the managers in his decision making practice. These tools are helpful for managers in solving their business related problems. These tools are taken as guide in making decisions. Following 5 economic tools are generally applied under managerial economics. First is opportunity cost. Second one, incremental principle. Third one, principle of the time perspective. Next one, discounting principle. And last one, I mean to say fifth one is equimarginal principle. So now I'm going to explain these 5 principles step by step. So first of all, I will discuss opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the first principle. Okay, opportunity cost is the first principle which I will explain in next slide. Okay, opportunity cost principle. This is the first principle and this is the cost. So, what is the meaning of opportunity cost? What is the meaning of opportunity cost? Okay, listen carefully. Opportunity cost is the income foregone which a businessman could expect from the second best alternative use of his resources. Okay, I am repeating, opportunity cost is the income foregone which a businessman could expect from the second best alternative use of his resources. This principle is of immense use in decision making. It can be stated as the cost involved in any decision consists of the sacrifices of alternative required by the that decision. If there are no there are no cost. Okay, it's very important point because I have told you that opportunity cost is the income foregone which a businessman could expect from the second best alternative. But if there are no sacrifices, there are no cost. Okay. In everyday life, we apply the notion of opportunity cost. Even if we are unable to stay its significance, for example, when a person devotes his entire time to his own business. Okay, I am saying when a person devotes his entire time to his own business, he hopes that he will earn at least as much as he can by working for someone else. When an investor buys shares from the stock market, he makes implicit comparisons between the returns to be obtained from shares and from the bank. Bill, exactly, he is comparing because he is going to invest his money. So, he will compare what is I mean to say what will be the best option for investing the money. That's why I'm saying when an investor buys shares from the stock market, he makes implicit comparisons between the returns to be obtained from shares and from the bank in the form of interest on his investment. In these cases, decision making takes into account the cost of opportunities foregone. Therefore, the opportunity cost of a decision is the cost of sacrificing the alternatives to that decision. In order to compare the alternatives, it is necessary that the cost of the sacrifices involved are measured. If there are no sacrifices, then there are no cost involved. Managerial decisions must be based on a clear understanding of the cost of alternative decisions and how relevant these costs are in a given situation. We can see that the opportunity cost is the payment. Opportunity cost is the payment that would be necessary to draw for the factor of production from their remunerative alternative employment. Alternatively, opportunity cost is the income foregone, which a businessman could expect from the second best alternative use of his resources. Okay, so I want to discuss some examples of opportunity cost for better understand. Okay, so the opportunity costs are measured by the sacrifices in terms of goods and services involved in the decisions. For example, the opportunity cost of the funds employed in one's own business in the interest that could be earned on those funds if they have been employed in other ventures. Okay. For example, the opportunity cost of using a machine to produce one product is the earning foregone, which would have been possible from other product. And we can say that if I mean to say, I take next example to understand this concept better. If entrepreneur uses his capital in his own business. Okay, listen carefully. I am saying if entrepreneur uses his capital in his own business, he forgoes interest which he might earn by purchasing debentures of other companies. Okay, next option, by depositing his money with joint stock companies for a period. Okay, that's mean I am having two options for investing the money. Furthermore, if an entrepreneur uses his capabilities and skills in his own business, he forgoes his income which he might have earned by working as a manager in another firm. Similarly, by using assets, productive assets like land and building in his own businesses, he sacrifices his market rent. These foregone incomes, interest, salary, and rent are called opportunity cost, okay, or transfer cost. Accounting profit doesn't take into account the opportunity cost. Okay, I think you have understood this concept. So now I am going to explain second principle, incremental principle. Okay, incremental principle is the second principle which I am going to explain for you. So it is incremental principle is related to the marginal cost and marginal revenues for economic theory. Okay. I am saying incremental principle is related to the marginal cost and marginal revenue for economic theory. Incremental concept involve estimating the impact of decision alternatives on cost and revenue, emphasizing the changes in total cost and total revenue resulting from changes in prices, product, procedure, investment, or whatever may be at stake in the decisions. Whatever. Incremental concept is closely related to the marginal cost and marginal revenue of economic theory. Incremental concept involves estimating the impact of decision alternative on cost and revenue, emphasizing, emphasizing the changes in total cost and total revenue resulting from changes in price, product, procedure. Okay, I have discussed this. So, I mean to say the two basic components of incremental reasoning are incremental cost and incremental revenue. Incremental cost and incremental revenue. These are the two basic components, incremental cost and incremental revenue. So incremental cost may be defined as the change. Okay, incremental cost may be defined as the change in total cost resulting from a particular decision. But incremental revenue is the change in total revenue resulting from a particular decision. So the two basic component of incremental reasoning, incremental cost and incremental revenue. So the incremental principle may be stated as under, I mean to say, a decision is profitable. The decision is profitable if it increases revenue more than cost and it decreases some cost more than it increases others. A decision is obviously a profitable one if it increases some revenues more than it decreases others. And it is profitable when it reduces cost more than revenue. These are the some important point which I want to repeat like this. Like a decision is profitable if it increases revenue more than cost. It decreases some cost more than it increases others. It increases some revenues more than it decreases others. And last one is it reduces cost more than revenue. Okay. Now I am going to explain third principles of time perspective. Time perspective is the important principle, important parameter when a person, I mean to say when a businessman, when an entrepreneur, I mean to say when a person is going to start a business. Principle of time perspective. Perspective principle is related to time frame. Time frame is a very important parameter when someone is going to start a business. So, I mean to say before starting a business, first question on the mind of any businessman is which will be our time frame? Which will be our consideration time frame? Because managerial economics are also concerned with the time frame. When you are going to start a business, so first of all, time frame is a very important decision, and time frame is divided into two parts. First is short run and second is long run. I mean to say before starting a business, you should have to decide what will be their time frame, short run or long run. Okay, So, managerial economics are also concerned with the short run and the long run effect of decisions on revenue as well as cost. So, a first question is, what is the difference between short run and long run time period, time perspective? In the short period, the firm can change its output without changing its size. Okay? If you are going start a business for short run, short period, so the firm can change its output without changing its size because you have a lack of time. You don't have enough time to change everything in business. You have a short period. You have a short period, so you can change some parameters, not all the parameters. But if you have a long period, the firm can change its output by changing its size because you have enough time. You have enough time. If you want, you can change a lot of cost and size also. In the short period, the output of the industry is fixed because the firm cannot change their size of operation and they can vary only variable cost. Only variable cost. If you are going to start a business for short run, you can change only variable cost. I mean to say, in short run, only variable cost can be changed. Fixed cost, variable cost and fixed cost. In short run, variable cost can be changed, but fixed cost cannot be changed. But in the long run, the output of the industry is likely to be more because the firm have enough time to increase their sizes and also use both variable and fixed cost. Okay. So, the very important problem in decision making is to maintain the right balance between the long run and short run consideration. Okay, very important point. To maintain the right balance between the long run and short run consideration, because in short run only variable cost can be changed because you don't have enough time to change both the cost. You can't change the firm size, but if you have a long period in long run business, you can change fixed and variable cost both. A decision should take into account both the short run and long run effect on revenues and cost and maintain the right balance between long run and short run perspective. Okay, so now I am going to explain next one principle is discounting principle. Discounting principle is a very important principle because the concept of discounting is applied to future cost and returns. The concept of discounting is applied to future cost and returns as there are variation in the time perspective underlying different decision problems. Discounting principles originated from the concept of opportunity cost and time perspective, and both the principles I have discussed before. Opportunity cost is the first principles which I have discussed before, and time perspective is the third one which I have discussed. So now I am saying the concept of discounting principle is originated from the concept of opportunity cost and time perspective. It is obvious that the value of 1000 rupees available at the end of 2 years is less than the present value of 1000 available today. The class of decisions problems in managerial economics where the concept of discounting is found most useful is investment planning or capital busting. I mean to say all managers should know that if a decision is based on cost and returns over a period of time, it is important that the future stream of cost and returns are discounted at appropriate rates to relate the opportunity cost of capital. A valid comparison of relevant alternatives is facilitated by this approach. I mean to say this principle talks about comparison of the money value between present and future time. For example, suppose 100 rupees is gifted to a particular person today and 100 rupees will be given as gift to same particular person after 1 year. Okay, you have a two option. I have told you uh, look at this point, important point. Okay, please understand, to listen carefully to understand this example better. I have explained opportunity cost and discounting principle is originated from the opportunity cost and time perspective. Opportunity cost mean if someone is having two options, so which option is sacrifices by someone, this is the opportunity cost. So at a present example you have a two option, 100 rupees is gifted to a particular person today and second option 100 rupees will be given as gift to same particular person after 1 year. Today after 1 year, but you are having 100 rupees. Normally a person chosen first offer only. Why? Because today rupee is having more worth. Okay, understand? Because today rupee is having more worth than tomorrow rupees. So I mean to say discounting principles focus on the money value, the worth of money at present and future also. The concept of discounting is applied to future cost and returns as there are variation in the time perspective. If someone is going to invest the money, he will focus on whatever he has an amount and he is going to invest. So it is the very complicated questions for any businessman. Whatever I have a money, if I am going to invest like 100 rupees is gifted to particular person today and same particular person after 1 year. So which option is best? Normally a person choosing first offer only because today rupees is having more worth than tomorrow rupees. This is the discounting principle and it is most beneficial, it is most suitable in investment planning or capital budgeting. Okay, so in discounting the amount receivable at some future date is worked back to the current time period. The future amount is discounted to the current period using a rate known as the discounted yield. The concept has varied applications in investment and financial planning. It is used by banks for determining the home loans, EMIs, and it is also used by financial planners. Financial planners for estimating the returns from money back insurance, policies, mutual funds, SIPs, and bond yield. Looking at the value of the rupee, the rate of inflation prevailing in the economy is used as the discounted yield for determining its purchasing power. Okay, so now I am going to explain last principle, and I will discuss it. Equimarginal principle. The principle deals with the allocation of the available resources among the alternative activities. According to this principle, an input should be so allocated that the value added by the last unit in the same in all cases. This generalization is called the equimarginal principle. Equimarginal principle is the last one principle, and the principle deals with the allocation of the available resources among the alternative activities. According to this principle, an input should be so allocated that the value added by the last unit in the same in all cases. Okay, for example, suppose a firm has 100 units of labor at its disposal. Okay, the firm is engaged in 4 activities which need labor services like A, B, C, and D. It can enhance any one of these activities by adding more labor, but only at the cost of other activities. It should be clear that if the value of the marginal product is higher in one activity than another, and optimum allocation has not been attained, it would therefore be profitable to shift labor from low marginal value activities to high marginal value activities, thus increasing total value of all product taken together. So, we can say that equimarginal principle deals with the allocation of the available resources among the alternative activities. Okay, so now I am going to close this video because I have explained all the principles like opportunity cost, incremental principle, principle of time perspective, and discounting principle, and last one is equimarginal principle. So, okay, thank you everyone. I have covered economic tools or basic principles of managerial economics like opportunity cost, time perspective, discounting principles, and equimarginal principles and incremental principles. Okay, so thank you all for attending this video. Okay, thank you.